Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. And we begin with a 7th grade math teacher from Texas legally changing his name to literally anybody else and announcing his own run for the White House. Formerly known as Dustin Ebby, the 35-year-old U.S. Army veteran says he's unhappy with likely nominees Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and that out of 300 million people in this country, Americans should have a better choice. Mr. Anybody Else needs 113,000 signatures from voters in his home state to get on the ballot. But since that's a tall order, he's really just hoping to get people to write in his new name as a statement of dissatisfaction. He told WFAA that people are voting for the lesser of two evils, not someone they actually believe in or support. About the rarity of his action, he added, "If you want to accomplish something no one ever has, you have to do something no one's ever done." Florida has made good on a promise to kick millions of kids off social media. Yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a law that prohibits users younger than 14 from having an account, while 14 and 15-year-olds must have permission of their parents. The bill doesn't name names in terms of which platforms are problematic, but identifies addictive features like infinite scrolling and push notifications. Social media companies could be fined $10,000 for each violation. According to the Associated Press, they're expected to quickly sue to block the new law, which is scheduled to kick in on January 1st. Why do babies smell like flowers, soap, and violet, while so many teens smell like sweaty goats? Scientists in Germany were determined to find out. For their unique stench study, they sewed cotton patches into the armpits of pajamas for one group of babies and one group of teens, then analyzed them the next morning. And while both had a similar basic chemical composition, only the teens secreted two specific compounds that were described as smelling like cheese, sweat, wax, and in their words, not ours, goat. The study says the reason for the stink is probably evolutionary. Babies are meant to smell good to encourage parental bonding at birth, while teens start to smell less pleasant as they enter a phase of independence. The research is published in the journal Communications Chemistry. What goes up must come down, a law that now also applies to poop on the highest peak in the world. Mount Everest in the Himalayas has a growing problem with human waste because of both the record number of climbers attempting to conquer it and the mountain's harsh conditions, which slow the natural breakdown process. New rules have gone into effect that will require climbers to bag their poop on the way up and during their stay, and bring it all back down with them. Mount Everest rises 29,032 feet above sea level, which is just below the cruising height of a jumbo jet. And according to Global Adventure Challenges, due to the shifting of tectonic plates, it actually grows by about 1.5 inches every year. The cost to climb, poop bags included, anywhere from $65,000 to $125,000 per person. Much like we all lean on our friends to learn new things, so too do bumblebees. And it's apparently the first time that trait has been found outside of humans. In a recent study, scientists in London used rewards to train bees to push levers and solve a puzzle to get a sugar water prize. Then they introduced untrained bees and watched as the experienced insects taught the newcomers how to do it. Without the presence of the trained bees, however, none of the new bees could master the task. The researchers said their experiment shows that bees can learn complex tasks through social interaction, which challenges a long-held view that only humans learn that way. The study is published in the journal Nature. Still to come, kids of U.S. lawmakers mount a full-court press on their parents over the fate of TikTok. But first, today's KidNuz quiz. A Texas teacher changed his legal name to what to protest the two leading U.S. presidential candidates? Literally anybody else. Florida banned kids under what age from having social media accounts? (14) Climbers on which famous mountain now have to bag their poop and bring it down? Mount Everest. A new study suggests which insect learns from its friends much like humans. Bumblebees. In today's Kid News Kicker, most kids don't pay attention to what mom and dad do at work, but when you have a parent with a say on whether TikTok gets banned in the US, chances are you're not only following along, but also being pretty vocal about it. According to the Wall Street Journal, politicians are getting pummeled by their own offspring. Representative Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey says his 14-year-old daughter is worried her friends will be mad at her. Michigan Rep. Hillary Skolton was in the middle school pickup line when one of her son's friends asked, "Are you the one who's banning TikTok?" And Senator John Fetterman received texts from his tween daughter after the House vote that said, "Please don't destroy TikTok. I'm going to get bullied." But there are also those who favor change. Representative Becca Ballant of Vermont says her kids don't use the app and aren't crazy about all the time their friends spend on it. She told the paper, "They both said without hesitation, we absolutely should be banning TikTok. Its fate now rests with the U.S. Senate." Before we go, we want to shout out our Kid News classrooms. Ms. Rodriguez and her Regal Eagles at Ronald Reagan in Palm Desert, California. Ms. Pulvey and her Hornets at Richland Center Intermediate in Richland Center, Wisconsin. And Mrs. Busby and her Eagles at Jefferson in Warrenville, South Carolina. Thanks for listening. If you prefer an ad-free experience, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. And we'll see you back here for more Kid News tomorrow morning.